Peace, everybody. My name is Whitson. I'm a multidisciplinary artist and a 2019 Creative Capital awardee. My constellation is space. My pronouns are they, them. I am currently on Tongva, Kuia, Luis Sueño, and Serrano land, also known as, or currently known as, Riverside, California. And my contribution to this Artist Wellness series is going to be about closings and a bit about embracing the unknown. I've got some notes here, so you'll see me looking down and turning pages, so bear with me with the excess noise and things, but want to share with you as clearly as possible, and I'm a fan of the words. So a little bit of that for you. There is no waiting on wellness. How do we invite that into our lives? How do we invite a knowing into our lives? With what fertile bones will we stitch our beginnings? Every day a stranger, now a desired familiar. How can indigenous thinking allow us to survive? Our medicine is to go old, go ancient. I'm offering us to think about how this time is calling for us to find completion in seeds and in closings, the existences of darkness as fertile potentialities, not waiting on light to see itself, not waiting on light to see ourselves. You've got to know, trust, feel quiet enough to listen to its existence. And asking the divine, what do you want me to tell community? What is my artist wellness message? As I said, closings came through loud and clear for me, and thinking about, for a lot of reasons, but certainly about this being a year of openings of unexpected catalyzing events that have moved us immediately into the unknown. And we've had to respond to ways of being in our living, in our community making, in our creative work, even in our solitude, in new ways that we didn't expect, didn't desire for many folks. I'm thinking of the in our relationships for that individual experience of that, the way that the personal is political, and the ways that we are also responding to systemic changes that we're creating, and how our individual work is connected there too. So for folks who are in the West Coast that are experiencing a fire season like none other in response to climate chaos that we're like seeing and feeling in tangible ways, how my ritual offerings create closures to our relationships to single-use plastics, to gender reveal parties. For our uprisings for Black lives, what closures might we need to, how incredible could it be for us to be thinking about not only our futurity and the future making that we're forwarding, but also to partner that with ritual closings to white supremacy, and ritual closings to police and policing, ritual closings to a protest practice or aesthetic that doesn't protect Black trans women, that doesn't understand the movement for Black lives as including those that are most vulnerable in our communities as well. That what would it look like to create a ritual closing to cis heteronormativity in our protest making? For coronavirus, perhaps that ritual closing is around any ideas or attachments to individualism and the thoughts that our individual unique lives don't impact others. Speaking to you, the folks who refuse to wear masks. Every time that we are catapulted into something new that transforms us or our living, something else is called into closure. And this is not necessarily oppositional. It's not about putting openings and closings on some opposite end of a spectrum. We want to understand them as coexistent, and that they in and of themselves have multiple roads. And so the work of this time is to investigate those multiple roads. And that's not about forgetting. It's not about moving on. It's not about letting go. But it could include those things, and that we're working in a space of simultaneity. So for folks who are in these processes already, like, this is maybe a moment to slow down, right? If you're already present to the ritual work of closure, how do you heighten that in your lives, in your communities, in our movement making, in our creative processes, in the way that transformation shows up for us everywhere, in every area of our lives. So that might look like, for you, starting with just naming, right? How and where is it showing up? Acknowledging its presence in your life, and even perhaps the benefits that it has afforded you, the privileges that it has afforded you. Reckoning with that fact, or those facts themselves. Release work, compassion, right? Those things have got to be partners. So again, not about forgetting and letting go, but about allowing yourself to acknowledge, note, and release, right? And releasing into vision, releasing into and with vision, and releasing into and with reclamation, releasing into and with an invocation of that which is new. Page turning again. I'm thinking about that a lot for trans and GNC folks that are creating lives right now, creating work right now, creating movements right now, as well as creating new embodied experiences. What does it look like to ritually close that which no longer serves, or never did? And how do we do that right now when surgeries are on hold, when physical distancing would ask us to not collectivize, right? So what are we needing to close in order to create new spaces and new ways of being together? So if you are already in a ritual practice around shrine altar making, this is a moment to maybe deepen that thing, that you are creating a sacred space in your creative practice, in your studio, in your home, finding a space that feels good, generative, and sacred for you to set up not only, again, an acknowledgement of the thing that you want to put energy into creating, but speaking out loud and intentionally about that which you are leaving, and asking Spirit to be a collaborator with you in so doing, right? Having your candle, right? I love the 7-day candles, to think about the time and that it takes to be in ritual. To sometimes things are rapid, but always, right, we get to create with and work in time as we so choose. Having cool water in a clear glass, right? So that Spirit is working with us in clear and cool ways. Having fire, so we can think about the transmutation process and the transformation process that sometimes is brought on by heat and flame. As you're in this process, being gentle with self. This is a reminder for our world making, that we do so with lots of joy, that we do so with lots of play, that the unknown, again, is a partner, is on the other side of this closure. So that we are moving toward our new world making with all kinds of vision. A part of visioning is also to be available to what might come down spiritually, right? So our partners that we can't see, that, well, some of us can see, that maybe that are present to us in ways that are not about corporeal sight, or tangibility. I hope that this was a seed or fruit, some water for you. I'm grateful to be asked to do it, and happy to be in the wrestling of this world making with you all. Thanks again.